Hello internet friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay or LiJo, and today we're going to be talking about the INTJ approach to extroverted sensing. What is it about? Is it possible that the INTJ may be better at a specific sensory than those who are sensory saviors? Well, we will be solving these mysteries. If you'd like to talk to me about this subject or anything related to your cognitive journey, you can book a link or you can book a session with me via my link below on Snug. Let's go. All right, so there's a particular lens that INTJs are looking through when they're viewing the sensory. And this lens will generally be crafted by a particular outlook that the INTJ has towards some destination that they want to achieve. So here's a nice sensory example for you, okay? So in the past year, I have gotten an increasing amount of compliments on the aesthetic of my videos. The SE set design and several other things. Now, I haven't upgraded my equipment. I have the same old stupid light. That's all the same. However, at some point, I made the determination that in order to achieve X results of the kind of video that I want to produce, I have to get better at these elements of sensory. I had to work on them, get them progressively better so that I could produce a more well-rounded video, which is what my desire was to do. It has to be well-rounded in the content and visually. That's just how it works. And I realized that. And I realized at some point I took a step back and I looked at my videos and I was like, okay, these do not look good. Now the content, the script writing, that was always easy. I have videos written far in advance because the information is just there. It comes down onto paper and that's the easy part, right? That's the savior state. But go back to my earlier videos if you dare, and I thought at one point the dirty closet doors behind me were an acceptable background. And in a lot of ways they were for starting off, but I wanted to achieve actually the vision that I had for my videos. And in order to do that, the sensory had to be conquered. And this same pattern has been throughout my whole life. Whenever there was a time where all of a sudden I realized, or all of a sudden someone told me, hey, this sensory area, it sucks, you're not good at it. If I had a reason behind why to work on it, I determined that as my focus and I got a lot better at it. So what is the INTJ approach to sensory? Well, I would say that it incorporates these three things. The first is the mindset that I can solve this. It's not an experiential event that sensory saviors will approach the sensory with. An NT will approach the sensory, an NITE will approach the sensory with, I have the ability to figure this out, not experience. Two, it's going to be narrowed in and specific, okay? We're not looking to do the variety, the spectrum of activity. We're looking to narrow down. That's what our NI has done. It has determined this is the kind of sensory that we want to work on, and then we will progress at it and work on it and continue to work on it, which is the third thing, is we will overwork the same category of information, of sensory, until we have become proficient at it. So this approach ends up working out for us in these particular cases quite well, because we're not interested in the spectrum of sensory, in the spectrum of experience. We still have SE though. And so by using NI first, we've narrowed down the area of SE that we want to work on and pursue, and we will happily rework that same area, that same category, until that ideal version is met by whatever the NI has determined. Now that standard could be low and we don't have a lot to do to meet that standard, or it could be relatively high. I would say as it relates to my videos, my NI actually set quite a high standard, and I still don't even feel as though I've met it yet. I'm on the way to get there, but one step of sensory at a time. So how does this differ from SE saviors? So SE saviors can navigate the spectrum of sensory better and with more ease across the board. So whereas an INTJ, for instance, may have narrowed down a specific area of sensory that they rework until they've become really good at it, SE in general is able to approach more sensory types of situations. This is the plane that they are living in. They're attending and seeing these things in real time, so they're able to address them in real time and with a greater level of ease on the spectrum. SE saviors will also use a variety of material approaches, and they're okay shifting and moving as needed. Now, sometimes this can be to their deficit because they'll move completely out of the category, they'll change channels and never continue to work on that same thing. However, it does give them the ability to be more flexible in real time. And for sensory saviors, the sensory doesn't have to be in submission to a greater overarching goal or thing they're trying to achieve. It can just be a method of practice. They can go with the flow. They can move from sensory to sensory as needed. They can just do it as a practice. And it doesn't have to be for the sake of some NI. So the directionality of the cognition is inherently moving in a different direction from SE moving then to NI, saying, here are the things I can do. What could I possibly do with that? Whereas NI is stopping first and saying, this is what I want to achieve. Now, which particular sensory do I have to go and enact and get good at in order to do that? So that's it for this video. This is a little bit about how INTJs approach the sensory and why we can, slowly but surely over time get good in some areas of sensory. Now, if you have met an INTJ who you think has done well in a particular area of sensory, I would challenge you to ask them, how long has it taken you to get good at blank? I would guarantee you that number is not small. I see a lot of the sensory saviors, and if they do end up practicing a specific category, they get good at it so much faster than I ever will. So we love them for that. That's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, internet friends.